And who is the creator of the universe?
I love this. It's God.
So good. Hey everybody, this is Choi, publisher of 24/7 Comics, joined by my co-host.
It's Magic Nate here.
All
Surprise.
right, man, we're here, we're back. So
Yes.
this is crazy. This you know, Daniel Warren Johnson's I think his masterpiece, Do A Powerbomb, issue 6. We're about to dive into it. Episode 5. I feel like I'm still feeling the energy from it because it was just so crazy. It was literally like an action movie. How do you feel like coming off of issue 5 and going to 6?
I'm feeling great. My adrenaline's pumping. I'm ready to go jump off a ladder and land on somebody's head on a table. Like, let's go, let's take them down. Like, I can't wait to see what happens because we ended the last episode with, if you guys haven't seen it yet, go watch that and then come back to this. You have 3 seconds, two, one. We ended with the two champions who were the antagonists winning the fight, but they weren't happy about it. Instead, they looked like they were about to face off to the death. So we get to see what happens next.
And we're going to get into it. But before that, we're going to share a little bit about what's been happening at 24/7 Comics. So we work very hard. We're a creator-led venture, and one of the ventures is producing awesome comics. In fact, one of our biggest missions is to get readers to read comics again. And the reason behind that is, a lot of people collect, but they just don't read. And we want you guys to check out some of the best work from our creators. For example, Evermind, #1 here by Sean Chen and Daniel Wu, I think really is Sean's work of a lifetime. So if you haven't had a chance to check it out yet, please do check out the store. But what else is on our web store? We have variant covers from Evermind, including this one from Bella Rashland, as well as another one from Jim Mahfood. And we also have DK Run and also Mr. Mateo Scalera. Furthermore, if you love original art, we also have the artist editions. We'll go 3, 2, and 1 of Evermind. So for you artists out there who's trying to learn the lines, we keep all the word bubbles off as well as all the colors so that you could really enjoy Sean's art. And then, of course, if you don't have issue 2 and 3, they're also available here. And of course, we have these pin collections from the world of Evermind, and we have Tuxedo Bubble here. He's kind of like the life of the theme park. He's there to greet you when you get into Bubble World. So if you haven't gotten your pins from the Evermind pin collection yet, definitely check out 247comics.com. All right.
We're in that time of year where you people should definitely go check out that shop. Get in there, click around, and don't forget you can always see the first issue of every comic that we have right there on the 24/7 Comics shop. So get into reading. I'm doing it. You should do it too.
Yes, always read for free, issue 1, and then go on and support the talent if you love it. So with that said, and talking about supporting talent, let's get right into it, guys.
Oh, yes, I'm so excited. It's going to be so good. Do a power bomb. Issue number 6, and what an epic cover.
Nuts. I mean, this is crazy. It's like worst nightmare, right? He is Koba, and he has a cobra around him.
And he's sitting on this like stone throne. He's kind of, you can see him just back. Oh, this is setting up such a mood for all the readers to just kind of dive into. I can't wait to talk about this.
Oh my god! In fact, in the last issue, they lost, and we do have to thank Daniel Warren Johnson, the creator, writer, artist, for this, as well as Mike Spicer, who's been great with the colors. I mean, he captures every detail. It doesn't matter how little it is, like the little beeps on the page. He gets them colored, and then you have Russ Wooten, who's the letterer, who's also done a great job complimenting everything that Daniel's doing. And often, I think the letters don't get enough credit, but it takes a lot to put words in these in the art, so that's not distracting but actually complimentary. So yeah, we dive right into another backstory, and who are we talking to now? Who's in front of us?
This looks like a family affair. Like whatever's going on with Lana's family. This was looks like many years ago between Uncle Blood and I think her dad. Is that her dad?
I
No,
think
because he's not as beefy. So this guy is like a little extra special.
Who is this?
Uh,
It is
Without the
him.
mask, yeah,
Huh?
that is her dad. He's not as hunky.
Yeah, I guess not. He wasn't working out as much, I guess. Or
Or
is this after Yua had passed away? I think so, right? It is.
yeah, because he's like, I've done that move hundreds of times. I
Yeah.
don't know. You don't know what. And then I guess, but it's kind of weird because in that first issue when we saw the accident happen, Cobra-san was kind of like
Big guy,
he's
yeah.
yeah, he's got his physique going, but in this he looks tiny in that suit. So I
Oh,
don't know whatever he's doing. I'd like to know. Uh,
the power of leather jackets. The right leather
that's
jacket
it.
will make you lose like 20 pounds.
I'll make sure I get a leather jacket in the future.
Oh man, I love this scene right here in the room. It's like this really messy bedroom.
Hmm.
Obviously like a single dad at this point, and you have to raise a daughter, and you know, DWJ did such a good job just the details of like the stars on the ceiling. I mean, I did that, even though I know like a lot of girls did that growing up. I did that too, but on top of that, I also used strings and I took Micro Machine Star Wars and I had them all flying all across. So I had like this like intergalactic battle underneath the
Oh
stars.
yeah, absolutely. And I love the fact that she has her mom's posters all over the walls.
Yeah, details, details. But then I think they also dive into a bit of a journey as to like what he had to go through, right, to support his daughter.
Absolutely. We just see like this kind of like backstory as we can go through these pages. If you guys want to read this on your own, please do so. Go get the comic, read through all the wording that's on there. We're just giving you guys a brief overview of things going on. You can see him doing his moves, going through these things. Then we have that one page where you see the whole audience. He jumps off of the entryway. I don't know what you call that, the balcony of the
So there's actually
entryway.
a flashback. It's a flashback now, right? Is that
Yeah,
wrong?
this is all a flashback, and everybody's going, "Oh!" as he's doing this awesome flip in the air
Yeah.
because he no longer has a leather jacket and his muscles reappeared. Uh, you see him going for this crazy move. I don't know what did he call it? What does it say right here? Uh,
Shooting star pressed into a DDT.
yeah,
That's
shooting
ridiculous.
star pressed into a DDT. I don't know what that means, and if you guys want to school me, please let us know down in the comments below.
Please do.
Tell me what that means. Help me.
No idea. I remember DDT. I think Undertaker did the DDT ish. I think, but I'm not. Oh no. This is not Undertaker. Undertaker did something else, but I think I kind of get what DDT looks like. But what's a moment that gives us and reminds us there's a flashback is this what an incredible young talent we have in Cobra-san. So they basically highlight that he was
Yeah,
young.
but notice everybody else is in kind of like a grayscale or kind of
Uh,
like this sepia. They're not highlighted,
yeah,
but
almost like
we get that lady in red. It makes me think of Deadpool when he's looking at Colossus, like lady in red.
there we go. And Lady Red is Yua herself, also young.
Yep. So this is a far flashback. We get to see kind of like their start. We can probably go through this a little bit because again, we want to give you guys the opportunity to read the content, but we can see Cobra-san and Yua having this amazing little conversation in a cafe. It's kind of cute. It's a pseudo date. He's kind of self-conscious because at the end of the last issue, let's get this clear. He freaked out having his mask torn up,
Yeah.
and especially when his daughter realized it was him. But we can see that his mask is his identity. That is something for him. And although as cool of a fighter as Yua Steel Rose was, we get like this kind of human moment for her at the end of this page of her saying, "Don't worry, you'll learn to love me," and being all cutesy when we already know that she's kind of a big deal in wrestling later on. But she gives him this piece of advice, and I think it's worth talking about is uh, mask or no mask, people can tell when you're holding something back. Like we
Mm.
already know that he's very beholden to that mask, and in these flashbacks, and in the previous issues, we know that mask has protected him in one way or another, not necessarily as like actual protection, but like emotional protection. And I'm sure we're going to see more of that coming up.
And I think this does set the context for the story taking place in Japan, because she does reference that he's a Mexican Canadian, and she is recruiting for the Japanese wrestling.
Mm, that makes sense. It's nice to have cross cultures going on. A Mexican and Canadian have like hanging out in a cafe in Japan and just hanging out with an up and coming wrestler. Ah, it's beautiful. But then we get hit. We get hit. We come back to present day. Well, we don't get hit. I guess Maggie and Frank get hit.
Oh yeah, now it cut right back to when they lost the match at the end of it.
Yep.
Oh
And
my
I love this. And going back to it, we can go back to the detail of the dad. What was his name? Jacob? Was Jacob the name of the dad? Uh,
yeah, I think so. Is it
he's
Jacob?
he's trying to pull that mask back over his face. He
Mm.
already like his identity's already been revealed, but he's holding on to that while checking on his daughter.
Wow, so interesting. What a great detail. Why do you think he's so attached to the mask? It's crazy.
It's a protection thing. Some people have a blanket. I carry a deck of cards with me everywhere, literally everywhere. I have a deck of cards on me at all times.
Okay.
We all have something that we feel is connected to our identities, and it's just almost like a security blanket. And I guess for him, it's that mask because he doesn't have to be dad when he has it on. He is Cobra's son. He is, massive wrestler. And we see all this action going on between Frank and Maggie while Cobra Sun's trying to tend to Lana. The medics are there and they're telling him step back, but get your head in the game. And we see really the showdown that's going between Frank and Maggie kind of gets out of hand. And Cobra Sun, we can see that he's had enough.
Yeah.
And he just, oh man, I love that.
So Frank dives down, and I think he's trying to land on Maggie, right? But Cobra
Yeah,
Kai freaking catches him and just drills him. And I think this is a power driver. I think the power. This is like what Undertaker used to do. It's the tombstone he called it.
and well, he takes him down. He
He's out.
knocks him out.
Yeah. But this guy is freaking so tough because he's still going for it. He's like, and then as you look at, he's still reaching. Maggie go grabs the belt and literally just starts smashing his face while he's choking her out with like the barbed wires. And so it's funny because you got Necroton, who's like this, necromancer, who's like, will someone please get security down here? Because he's like shocked that these guys are like literally killing each other. Oh my gosh.
Yep, they're like, I mean, come on, barbed wire around the neck, a belt to the head. I mean, other than sounding like a fun Saturday night, this is an intense scene. I can't believe all that's happening. But on the next bit, it's like we go from utter violence and not really hatred for one another, but desperation to get the end game going.
Yeah.
Uh, we cut to basically the med bay where we can see Lana and Cobra Sun having a moment, and you see Cobra Sun being, or Jacob being human. The silence of Lana, I,
Mm,
quiet, I am so sorry. And then you get the dad. That's that redeeming moment in a movie where you're like, oh, that's so cute. But he repaired his mask.
so basically, I mean, what happens now is that all of a sudden, while they're having this moment, Necroton kicks through the door, and you're kind of like, "What now?" Right? This guy, he's like full of stuff. But long story short, he basically convinced them that they are now the champions because Maggie and Frank killed each other, and so they're obviously completely like moved by the whole thing. And you guys could kind of read, the personalities that come with the presentation. But at the end of the day, like they're really touched that they're gonna be able, bring their mom back, and that's a moment in itself. And of course, then Necroton takes them to collect the reward.
Yep. that's one of the cool things is like this going from the scene of them kind of like dropping in tears because by default they're going to be the champions because the previous champions aren't around anymore.
Yeah.
So they have this emotional moment of like, oh my gosh, finally we did it, and we get this cool scene. I love this. It's like a mad scientist like creepy lab of the creek, and even in like the black background of the main panel, I love seeing you can see shadows of stone everywhere, and you can feel kind of like old and how strange it was to put all this together, almost like a Dr. Frankenstein style setup in the middle, which I'm sure culturally people are very familiar with and
Yep.
can see like it's kind of course, a necromancer is going to have a table to bring somebody back from the dead.
Wow. That's crazy. I think what happened then, I mean, at this point, they were having a discussion as to, you know, really prepare for the return of Mother. And, you know, they're having their conversations, and there was a certain expectation that was set. And of course, Necroton is just being Necroton again because it turns out he's full of shit.
Yeah. Who would have guessed the Weasley guy who put on a death tournament didn't have everything? Yeah, he doesn't have the power to. He doesn't have the power this year to fully bring somebody back, and that's the crazy thing is like we can see that he's kind of being Weasley, where he's like, "Well, I could bring her back, but the most power I have this time is she'll be at most a zombie," and it's like,
Yeah.
bro.
They're a little scumbag to the max, right? Oh my god, what a jerk.
Oh yeah, and then his security knights come in, and
Yeah.
he's like, "You forget who I am," and he's trying to show off how he's this big death wizard dude. But I love it because he shrinks back down, and Cobra San's just like, "You're so full of it." He hates it. He thinks it's ridiculous. But oh man, it the fact that they're led on in this, they're led on of what's about to come, where he's like, "Oh yeah, there's somebody who said they're willing to fight you a 2-on-1 match.
Yeah.
Is it another necromancer? Think higher." And they get
Which,
transported.
they get transferred, but what's really cool now, I want to highlight this page, you know, and it's almost like there's a sequence now that's going to start happening as they're getting transported. We're also transported to the past because it's a relationship with Yua and Koba-san or Jacob, and he's basically running through the hospital, and it's basically saying like, you know, you have this like composition of Nikriton who continues kind of like, you know, talk that set them up, but then what he's actually going through his mind, or at least what we're presented, is, you know, the importance of him running to somewhere, something very in a rush, and basically Necroton's like, there's one last battle, one more foe to face, and this is and basically you're kind of wondering who that person is. But what's really cool is then you're kind of set up this moment of when he got to meet his daughter, you know, Rose, Lana Rose, and you know they get to the place where he's about to present that they're gonna be wrestling the creator of the universe. And,
Mm-hmm.
and who is the creator of the universe?
I love this. It's God.
So good. This is
I
probably one of the greatest DPS. And then you have this guy who's a referee. He looks like Jesus.
yes. I'm so glad that DWJ decided to model God after my physique. Obviously, just
It's crazy. He got mad veins on his leg, you know, veins on the bicep, and he's just like a beast.
oh
And,
man,
and it's like you know, it's awesome. He says Sun and Steel. He said, "I've watched the entirety of the Death Light tournament. And you're the most impressive." And then you have the people behind saying, "God, God, God, God," just chanting his name. And obviously, it cuts to the moment of when he finally pulls off his mask, and he basically says, "Hi, Lana. Nice to meet you." And shall we begin? Man, this is such a heartwarming moment. Like, where the hell did he think of this intercutting, like it's so good.
It's so cool to see like this human moment where again we established that he had some issues with having his mask as a security blanket, like that's part of his identity. But then we get to this where they're facing the ultimate battle to get
Mm,
what they want, and they show there's no background. You can't see the hospital, you can't see anything else. But he has this moment between Jacob and Lana, baby Lana, and Yua takes off that mask, and instead of being Cobra Sun, he's dad. He's like, this is it.
so good, so good. Damn, DWJ, that was such a heart tugger right there. Of course, showcasing fan art, which is awesome. And
Yeah,
then
these are cool. I love that. And if anybody wants to make fan art of Carl and I, please do.
feel
We'll
free, we
post it.
do it all. All right, issue 6. I mean that it's second to the last, man. How you feeling?
I'm feeling great. I am so ready. Let's show the showdown between Sun and Steel and God. Like this is gonna be the ultimate showdown, and this is such a cliffhanger for DWJ to leave us all on.
It's crazy. So good. So good. Anyways, if you guys haven't done so already, please like below, comment, let us know what some of these damn moves are because we don't know. And subscribe to our newsletter as well on 247comics.com. And we'll see you at the next episode of 24/7 Comics Book Club.
Where the talent thrives, art and story, leading, living larger lives. New chapter, new era, bringing out the fire 24/7. Comics, the dream and desire.